I'm going to be honest, most producers have no idea how to improve their music. They feel stuck because they're missing something that's helping them take their music to the next level. So today I want to show you why you as a producer need 3 things: goals, a vision, and systems in place to help grow your electronic music production skills and eventually create professional quality music. Now, this lesson that I'm about to show you is actually from my Producer Launchpad program, which you can join the waiting list for below as we are launching it publicly next year. I help producers get their music to a professional quality level, whether you're a beginner or you've got a bit of experience. So with all that in mind, sign up for that and let's hop in. Now, a huge part of your success inside the Producer Launchpad is basically going to be how well can you define your direction. Direction is going to lead to the success you're looking for. In the EDMProd, you may know we're huge advocates of setting up goals and creative systems that help you achieve that success, right? They will benefit you. So let's talk about a few terms we're going to cover here in this lesson. So we're going to be talking about vision, goals, and systems. Vision is your more vague, nebulous, long-term idea of where you want to be. Maybe this is for you as touring. Maybe it's collaborating with your big artists. Maybe it's releasing on XYZ label. Maybe it's just being a well-renowned music producer or DJ. Whatever it is for you, that's your vision. Doesn't necessarily have a specific nature to it, right? Whereas goals are the more concrete achievements you want to reach. And these are normally milestones on your way to your big picture vision, right? So this might be like releasing on Anjunadeep, or getting my first song out via DistroKid, or, making my first EP. That's a goal. It's concrete. It's defined well. We can talk about SMART goals in one of our one-on-one sessions if you want to dive more into that framework. Doesn't particularly matter for this. And then there's the systems thing, which I actually think is the most important, most overlooked. This is the engine that helps you achieve your goals and see your vision take shape. Without a system, your goals and vision will never be reached. Most people set a goal and they just kind of expect it to happen, which is actually quite sad, because it's like, if it was really an important goal, you would have a framework behind it driving you towards that goal. The other thing that happens is some people just keep doing the same thing, or at least even more of the same thing. It's like, you know what? I've been making a lot of music, and I still haven't achieved my goal of releasing on Anjunadeep. You know what I'm going to do? I'm just going to make even more music. It's like, well, that might be a great strategy somewhat. It might be a good system somewhat, but have you really thought it out? Like, is that the only thing? Because if you're making the same mistakes and not growing, yeah, okay, you'll probably improve somewhat by making a lot of music, but without the deliberate intentionality of what am I improving on, you won't have a good system. So to use an illustration here, a vision might be to become a well-known organic house artist in playing at major events in the scene. It's kind of a vague goal, which is what a vision is. A goal within that vision might be to release on Anjunadeep, write an album, create a DJ mix series on YouTube. There's a few concrete things there, right? And one thing I want you to start thinking about is a goal for this program, to have one professional quality track by the end, or to feel like you've got the skill set to create professional quality music, or, to feel like you're able to create, Anjuna style mix downs 80% of the way there by the end of the program, right? That's what we want. So think about the goal you're setting for this program. And then another example system is, how you create regular music, defining your genre and style within your system so that your goals will be achieved well. If you're not learning the standards for music that's worthy of being released on Anjunadeep, are you ever going to get there? Just making more music won't help that. What's your release strategy? Marketing, stuff like that. That's all system. And so, talking of systems, I want to kind of park here for a bit. You need 5 things, basically, in your music production system to achieve goals well, especially in music production. So first, you need a well-defined genre style, like I talked about. That's a crucial piece. Second thing is you need a method or an engine of releasing your music. How do you get it out into the world? If you don't define that, you'll probably just end up uploading it to SoundCloud without much thought, which is a default, I guess. 3 is a way of consistently outputting music to a certain standard. So for example, you might work on a lot of music, but not every single one is going to meet your standard, right? That's fine. It doesn't happen with me. For example, for you, you might notice every 1 out of 4 tracks I make is release quality, or 1 out of every 3 is release quality. Some people will have 1 out of 10, whatever it is, kind of know how often you have that ability to output that level of music, and how to make that higher would be a great part of your system. Number 4 is a method of distinguishing yourself from others. How is your music different? This is probably one of the least important things here because, as we'll cover, this kind of happens on the back end of getting your music up to a professional standard. And then 5 is a method of continually improving your music. So those are the 5 things. I want you to understand those. Screenshot this, grab the slides, whatever. But we do have to talk about originality within all of this, right? Because a lot of our goals, our systems, our visions is to be like a unique producer with my own sound, and I want to stand out from the crowd. I don't just want to be another cookie cutter producer, which is a great goal, great thought. Some of the most successful acts are the ones who stand out. So, but at the same time, I think focusing on originality is actually a bad thing. And I think actually what it does, especially as you're trying to get your music up to a professional standard, it actually distracts you. And actually, the pursuit of originality is actually quite dangerous because, 1, it's a bit early for most people, and 2, they don't know the rules to break them. And that's a huge part of what we're going to talk about here. For example, you can be an original producer, but you can be a terrible producer. If I, recorded myself clicking into my microphone and layered that up 7 times and then added some auto-tuned sounds and then like a kick drum beat, that might be terrible music, but it's original. You see where I'm going with this? Originality is not in it of itself a good thing. And this is why I think actually what's better to do is not to define how you're going to be original, because this kind of has like a ground zero vibe. Like, I am going to make new music from the ground up. It's going to be better than everyone else. No, it's not going to happen. Define how you'll be different instead. Because you actually take the ego out of the equation here, right? If you define how you'll be different. That music doesn't exist in a vacuum. Originality is a ground-up concept, like I just mentioned, but different is relative to other music. You're defining, I'm going to be, maybe I'm going to be like a, pop EDM artist. I'm going to kind of jump between future-based trap, maybe a little bit of house, right? Maybe that's your style / genre. So it's not as strict as tech house only, which is fine also, by the way. But you're also going to, within that space you're existing in, you're going to be different, right? Even some of the most unique acts, like a band like Pendulum, right? So they combine the sound of heavy drum and bass with rock and electronic pop. Very well, might I add. And I love the new music they're releasing. But if their sound didn't have strong roots in D&B, and you can actually go to their Spotify profile and see all the similar artists are all D&B artists, not rock artists, not electronic pop artists. If they didn't have a strong roots in a certain genre, that it could have fallen flat, right? They were very intentional in being different, but the stuff that underlied their music was very solidly drum and bass, right? Think of the Chainsmokers. They're very much a pop electronic act, right? But if they didn't have strong roots in like this, at first it was kind of more house, and then it was like very strong roots in future bass. That was what defined a lot of their pop hits, right? And now it's kind of, most people don't know Chainsmokers because there's a future bass act. It's more just pop EDM. But if they didn't have that strong similarity to what was going on in that world, it could have fallen flat. Or Fred again. He hops around genres all the time, but he clearly has a modern blend of like Aphex Twin, Burial, some UK dance music stuff, and even like ambient, he's worked with Brian Eno. He unmistakably grabs the things he likes about different genres. And the difference is more the way he combines those kind of not original concepts, right? Very interesting. So again, this doesn't necessarily mean a specific subgenre of music, but it can help to say I'm a melodic house producer / tech house producer or something like that, right? But the point here is you want to start with similarities, not differences. So a huge part of this is that you want to be 80% similar and 20% different. I think that's a pretty fair summary. That could blur a bit either way, but you want to start by being similar. And that's what I want you to do over the next 12 weeks is actually copy, steal is a better word, to use the quote. Steal like an artist, right? be similar to your favorite artists because you'll learn the rules. Use reference tracks. We'll be covering this in week 4. Download WAV MP3 files from your favorite artists, the ones you want to sound like, and have them in a folder on your computer, even just 5 to 10. Start by trying to be similar. Don't try and be even different. Definitely don't try and be original. And so this is really a crux of what you need to understand if you're wanting to grow the next 12 weeks. You're not going to be this ground up, crazy producer, because that's not real. Everything is a remix. Everything is based off something else. So to really quickly recap, vision is your vague long-term idea of where you want to be. Goals are like the more concrete actions along that path. Systems are the engines that drive each of those goals and allow you to see your vision take shape. And the 5 kind of keys to a good system is a well-defined genre, a good method of getting your music out there, how to output it consistently to a quality certain standard, how to distinguish yourself from others, and how to be continually improving your music and innovating. So those are the 5 things. Think about those 5 things as you kind of think about how you approach music. Do these apply to you? Do you have a good style? And then do this 2-step thing. Write down your long-term vision, your number 1 goal for this program in particular. You can write other ones too. And then your 5-part system for getting there based on these 5 parts, right? Now, you may have done this when you kind of filled out the onboarding survey or the application. So you can incorporate that into what you're writing here. And also this will work into your strategic plan that we're going to be going over in your first one-on-one. So again, book that if you haven't already. All right, guys, trust you enjoyed this one. Again, if you want to get more info about the Producer Launchpad as soon as it's out, where I'll help you make the exact type of music you want to make and bring it up to a professional level over 12 weeks and make music way faster than anybody else. Sign up for that and I'll chat soon. All right, have a good one, guys.